Let's do a short little demonstration video for the folks at SailNet.com, where I posted a thread recently about using old domestic machines, the old heavy-duty metal ones, for doing projects with Sunbrella canvas, pretty much the standard for canvas work on sailing vessels. And so let's dive right into it. Let's do a seam. I've got this loaded up right now with some V69 bonded polyester thread, which is the kind of stuff I'd want to use. And got that in there, press your foot down, hanging on to my tails. Let's start the needle. We'll just give it a break like that. And if we press the go button, off we go. She's doing just fine. We expected that, didn't we? Through 2 layers of Sunbrella. Up she goes. And pull it out. Cut the tails. All the tails. And what we have, 2 pieces of fabric welded together. Let's pretty it up with a nice top stitch so we can complete our semi-flat felled seam. Put that over like that. Press it down like so. There we go. And put it back into the machine. I'm just eyeballing things. I'm not even reversing my stitch to lock it in because I don't care. Start that needle in there. So we're going through 1, 2, 3 layers, or 2 or 3, and I guess 3. And off we go. Going relatively straight. Let's lock the stitch, like so. There we go. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did. Cut the tails. Cut. Keep on cutting them. I don't like tails all over the place. Beautiful. That's how we join pieces together, at least one way, certainly a good way. And I like to cut my Sunbrella with a hot knife so that I end up with fabric edges that cannot ravel, and the looking at side looks nice and clean. The not so much looking side wouldn't look as good. Not bad if you cut it straight with a hot knife and take a little bit of care, and it's a good way to do it. So there we go. We've got a semi-flat felled seam. Let's do some other work here. I've got some scraps around here somewhere. Here we go. The question arose as to whether these machines are capable of going through multiple layers of Sunbrella. Not as if you're going to do a project that's 6 layers thick or something, but we all know that when you fold things over and you get to a corner and you're attaching various things together, layers build up quickly. We always try to cut those layers away to relieve bulk, but it's easy to get into anywhere from 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. So let's start out with this little chunk right here. That's 3 layers. And let's just kind of set her down, hold the tails, start the needle. By the way, I'm using a number 16 needle, not the strongest needle I could use. I could use up to an 18, but 16 is kind of handy. I tend to sew on jean material and so on. There's a good kind of do-all needle for the kind of projects I do. And let's get moving here, holding those tails. Down she goes. Yeah, she doesn't mind doing this, does she? Nope. And cut. Cut some more. And look what we made, I tell ya. And what happens if we fold it over? We get 1, 2, 3 layers combined with 1, 2, 3 layers. All it takes is a little bit of algebra to figure that out. We'll be looking at 6 layers. That's getting up around the limit for what this machine wants to do. Yeah, it'll do 7, it'll do 8. I don't like to punish it. It's such a good machine. Why would I knock it out of timing? I did 8 layers a few minutes ago, and I don't want to beat it up, but it'll do it. So, needle down, punching through. Let's hit the go pedal. Off we go. that good enough for you? 6 layers, look at that. Am I having a problem with that? I don't think so. She's just happy as can be, running through 6 layers of brand new, unsoftened, unadulterated Sunbrella. Bam. You can lay a keel with this stuff. It's thick. That was 6 layers, and you didn't see it having any problem getting through that. Let's take this other piece right here. I recently did that boom tent on my boat, and all I did was cut the edges for that piece with my hot knife, and so I was able to create the edge seams or hems or whatever I needed just by folding over. When I did that, I either pinned it or used some double-sided sticky tape that you can get from sailrite.com, SAILRITE.com. You've all heard of them. And it's just a matter of putting this in there and putting the needle in, and then we'll quickly sew that up. Is that fast enough for you? That's not full throttle, folks. We're moving. Out she comes. Oops, let's leave that up. Now let's cut off the tails. Even this one. I find if I got tails laying around, then I'm getting caught in something. And that's not good. So, in the real world, I would have done a better job right here. But if I was making a tarp, I'd want to fold that over like so. Put that in the machine, like so. Hold the tails, needle down, down and dirty. All right. We could very easily have taken this and we could have done a double seam for a cleaner looking edge. No problem. That's what we're looking at. 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. It has no problem with that. Then you cut out some of the bulk in the corner before you sew it, so you get a less bulky corner and one that just kind of lays down a little better. But that's all it took to put that together. And because I hot knifed my boom tent cover, that's really all I had to do to produce a nice tarp. Rather than go with grommets on that tarp, something I learned from a local canvas person who did the boat cover for my previous boat, and this boat too, come to think of it, he likes to use this instead of grommets. So this is some stuff from Sailrite. Normally I would pin this together and do a proper job, but I'm just going to kind of put it like that. And that'll form a loop to which we could attach a line and then be able to tie off our boom tent to whatever hardware is available on the cabin of the boat. And I got a white UV resistant loop and I've got white thread, so do I have to be careful with this? No. All I got to do is back stitch a little bit, forward stitch, and then just be a total clod and sew this whole thing together. So, why would I want to get any fancier than that? It just allows you boom tent on my beautiful boat. And I could just do that for a while until I was satisfied with it. And of course we were going through mostly 1 layer of Sunbrella and 2 layers of webbing. And of course on the very edge that I barely got into, we were going through 2 layers of Sunbrella. It didn't struggle at any point. That's a number 16 needle, not the toughest needle we could have used. So I'm thinking at this point in the game, we've pretty well shown that if a guy wanted to make a tarp, hatch cover, lee cloth, any number of things, tiller cover, helm cover, no problem using one of these machines. It's just It's like welding fabric. It just goes in and off to there. Aha, look at that. Right over. Reverse, and forward, and reverse. Let's get that out of there. This is the least capable of the three machines I'm currently using. The Kenmore has a double pulley system for greater power. My Genome New Home machine has a 1.2 amp motor. This little girl, has a 1 amp motor and a nice fresh needle in her. No problem. Sunbrella with one of these old things. Pick your projects. Can't sew a circus tent. Can't do a sail. Be kind of tough doing a Dodger. But all those other little projects, no problem.